I can compare fractions with common denominators. In the last few lessons, you compared pairs of unit fractions such as 1/8 and 1/10, and fractions with common numerators such as 3/8 and 3/10. Now you will learn a new strategy for the Comparing Fractions toolkit. You will learn to compare fractions that have the same denominator. So here are two fractions to compare, 1/4 and 2/4. So go ahead and compare these two fractions. Use your fraction pieces and talk with your partner. Pause this video until you're ready. Okay, so which fraction is greater? Well, the fraction that's greater would be 2/4, wouldn't it? And which fraction is less? Well, that would be 1/4, wouldn't it? So let's go ahead and write our symbol right up here, and let's read this together. 1/4 is less than 2/4. Now, explain why 1/4 is less than 2/4. Pause this video until you're ready. Okay, so all the pieces are the same size, aren't they? Because we're talking about fourths. So 1/4 is less because it is only one piece, while 2/4 is two pieces. So let's talk about some math vocabulary again. Notice that the denominators are the same. So when two fractions have the same denominator, such as these two fractions, we say that they have a common denominator. So the common denominator in these two fractions is 4. Now turn to page 57 in your workbook and copy this down in your math vocabulary page. Pause this video until you're ready to continue. When we compared 1/4 and 2/4, we looked at the denominators to see if the pieces were the same size. And since they were the same, they are the same size. So then we looked at the numerators to see which one had the more pieces. So when we compare fractions with a common denominator, we call it the compare fractions with common denominators strategy. So we'll add this on to our chart. So strategy 3 is compare fractions with common denominators, such as 1/4 and 2/4. So we know that 1/4 is less than 2/4 because 1/4 only has one piece and 2/4 has two pieces, and the denominators are the same. So here are two other fractions to compare, 6/8 and 5/8. Compare these fractions. Use your fraction pieces and talk with your partner. Pause this video until you're ready. Okay, so which fraction is greater? Well, the greater fraction would be 6/8. And which fraction is less? 5/8 would be less. So let's go ahead and write down our symbol. And let's read this together. 6/8 is greater than 5/8. Now, Explain to your partner how to use the compare fractions with common denominator strategy to compare 6/8 and 5/8. Pause this video until you're ready. Okay, so how can we explain how to use the compare fractions with common denominator strategy? Well, when the fractions have a common denominator, such as these two fractions, look at the numerators. The fraction with the greater numerator is the greater fraction. And looking at our fraction strips, we can clearly see that 6/8 is indeed greater than 5/8. Now let's take a look at these two fractions. See what you notice about these fractions, and think about which strategy you can use to compare these fractions. Turn and talk to your partner, and pause this video until you're ready. Okay, so which fraction is greater? Well, 2/3 is greater than 2/5. Why? Well, because thirds are actually greater than fifths. So we can say that 2/3 is greater than 2/5. Now let's try one more. Let's look at 1/6 and 1/8. See what you notice about these fractions now, and think about which strategy you can use. Pause this video and turn and talk to your partner. Okay, so which fraction is greater? Well, the greater fraction would be 1/6. Because 1/6 of a whole is greater than 1/8 of a whole. So we can say 1/6 is greater than 1/8. In this video, you learned the strategy compare fractions with common denominators.